Dr. Prem Kumar, Tutor, Pharmacology Department, GMC Vidya. Today I am going to talk on pharmacotherapy of cough. Cough is defined as it is a protective reflex action which helps to expel the irritant matter from respiratory tract. It is caused due to stimulation of sensory nerve found in mucosa of pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and stretch receptors of lung parenchyma. Etiology: it is usually due to infection of respiratory tract, or it may be due to cardiovascular disease like CHF, congestive heart failure. In GIT, it is due to GERD, that is gastroesophageal reflux disorder, and drugs, ACE inhibitor, usually in women. Now, treatment consists of two parts. First is specific treatment and second is non-specific treatment. Specific treatment will be dealt in separate chapters, having the cause like respiratory or cardiovascular or GIT or drugs. Today I will talk on non-specific treatment. So, classification of non-specific therapy for cough. It is classified into, first is pharyngeal demulcent, examples lozenges, linctusses. Then expectorants. In expectorants, directly acting sodium or potassium citrate or acetate, reflexly acting ammonium chloride or carbonate. Next is both, in which comes potassium iodide, and then mucolytics, examples bromohexine, ambroxol, acetylcysteine, and third is cough center suppressant, which A, opioids, in which comes codeine, folcodeine. Second is non-opioids, noscapine and dextromethorphan. And third is antihistaminic like chlorpheniramine, diphenhydramine, and promethazine. Now, pharyngeal demulcents. These are given in the form of lozenges, cough drops, or linctusses. They act by increasing the flow of saliva. Saliva is one of the best natural demulcent which produces protective and soothing effect. Demulcents are mainly useful in cough due to irritation of pharyngeal mucosa above the epiglottis. Now, second is expectorants. In expectorants, these drugs increase bronchial secretion or reduce its viscosity, facilitating its removal by coughing. These drugs are useful in treatment of cough due to irritation of respiratory mucosa below epiglottis and respiratory condition in which the secretion is thick and viscid, needing liquefaction. Expectorant can stimulate the output of respiratory tract fluid either directly or reflexively or both. Now, the direct stimulants. Direct stimulants like oil of eucalyptus, cedarwood oil, which when added to steam inhalation can increase the respiratory secretion, probably by direct action. Now, reflex expectorant. These drugs act by stimulating the gastric, which help to increase the respiratory secretion. So, emetic drugs given in some emetic doses are said to increase bronchial secretion, producing less tenacious, easier to expectorate. Example, tincture ipecacuanha. It increases the respiratory tract fluid and lowers its viscosity of the sputum. Now, third is both, in which comes potassium iodide. It is also known as saline expectorant. Potassium iodide is most commonly employed preparation. It acts both directly and reflexively. It increases the respiratory secretion and liquefies the thick viscid fluid. The drug is generally advocated in productive cough associated with chronic bronchitis, asthma, and emphysema. Doses of potassium iodide is 300 milligram 8 hourly as or in mixture form. Adverse effect: nasal catarrh, conjunctival swelling, edema of eyelids, lacrimation, headache, skin rash, and gastric. It is seen in chronic users. Now, fourth expectorant is mucolytics, in which comes bromhexine. Bromhexine, a derivative of alkaloid vaccine obtained from plant Adathoda vasica. The drug can be given orally, parenterally, or by inhalation. The drug has been shown to reduce the viscosity of sputum by dissolving mucopolysaccharides fiber. Dose is 8 to 16 milligram 8 hourly. Adverse reaction of bromhexine are minor and infrequent. Now, next in mucolytics is ambroxol. This is active metabolite of bromhexine and has properties similar to those of parent compound. Dose is 15 milligram 8 hourly. Now, the third part is cough suppressant, in which comes codeine. Codeine is an alkaloid of opium and resembles morphine in its action. It depresses the cough center. Its antitussive action is antagonized by naloxone, indicating that it is exerted through opioid receptors in the brain. Adverse effect of codeine are Constipation is the main drawback. At higher doses, respiratory depression and drowsiness can occur. It is contraindicated in asthmatic and in patient with decreased respiratory reserve. Dose is 10 to 30 milligram and it is available as codeine phosphate. Next in cough suppressants is folcodeine. It is related to opioids and it is as effective as codeine as a cough suppressant with a longer duration of action. Next is noscapine. Noscapine is an opium alkaloid belonging to benzyl isoquinoline group. Its antitussive action is approximately equal to that of codeine. Adverse effect: headache and nausea. Large doses can cause bronchospasm and hypotension due to histamine release. Constipation, narcosis or dependence does not occur with noscapine. Dose is 15 to 30 milligram 3 to 4 times a day. Now next in cough suppressant is dextromethorphan. Dextromethorphan is a synthetic compound. It is D-isomer of codeine analog methorphan. It does not act through opioid receptors. It is as effective as codeine. Its antitussive action is not blocked by naloxone. Side effect: dizziness, nausea, drowsiness and ataxia. Dose is 10 to 20 milligram every 6 to 8 hours. Maximum dose is 120 milligram per day. Now last in cough suppressant is antihistaminic. Many of H1 antihistamines have conventionally added to antitussive expectorant formation. They afford relief in cough due to their sedative and anticholinergic action, but lack the selectivity for the cough center. Chlorpheniramine 2 to 5 milligram, diphenhydramine 15 to 25 milligram and promethazine is 15 to 25 milligram are commonly used. Thank you.